Face to Face with Nate Boyd. Community Talk. Every week at 1 o'clock p.m. at Nathan L. Boyd Official.
Hello, America. This is Nate Boyd, and we are here face to face with Nate Boyd. We are on my official page, Nate L. Boyd Official. And this is actually one of the first presentations coming on here. So today I have the pleasure of interviewing Mrs. Betty Jean Grant, who is officially running for Erie County Legislator again.
Yes, sir.
So Betty Jean, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
And it's going to be about a half hour. And what I'd like to do is just really get down to the nitty gritty about what you are doing out here in the community. So I'll let you do some intros and then I'll get back into it and you can talk to the people.
Well, you know, I'm not new to the community, Nate. I've been involved since 1980, but going forward to the elected office, I was elected to the Common Council in 1999, to the school board member in 2003, served 3 years, and I was elected to the Erie County Legislature in 2007, and I won re-elections 4 times. Then the mayor's race came up in 2017, and because so many things were not done in our community, I thought that I could put my hat in the ring and make a difference. You know, at that time there was gentrification, you know, different cultures coming into our community, especially on the east side of Buffalo, and we were fastly losing our houses. So I thought I could maybe get the information to the community what was necessary to not stop gentrification, because sometimes gentrification can be good the right way, but to make sure that we as a community, and we as a culture, and we as a race of people, did not lose our generational wealth in the process.
Now let me just take you back a little bit. So you said, I just want the people to know them 4 positions you said again, because
well, 3,
that's amazing. Wait, you was councilwoman.
Yes.
You was on the school board.
On the school board.
And you was Erie County Legislator.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
And then I ran for the Senate and won the Senate, but
right.
Controversy 2012.
The primary.
I ran for New York State Senate. Was short by 139 votes, with 400 votes still on the table, not counted. They came from the east side of Buffalo. So you tell me who won that race.
Well, how did they leave 400 votes that was from the east side of Buffalo uncounted in that race?
Because Erie County somehow counts the east side of votes very slowly, and so what happened was, it was my opponent called for a 2 weeks stop of counting all votes. He called for 2 weeks stop. So during that 2 weeks time, we weren't counting any votes. Had he not ordered that stoppage, those 400 votes that stayed on the table would have been counted. He did it so time will run out, because if you are in the military, you have a right to vote for your elected official. And so those ballots had to be sent overseas and received by a certain day. The certain day was October 24th. That's cut off for Erie County to mail those ballots to people who are overseas. And so October 24th came, and they still had 400 votes that needed to be counted. So instead of the judge said, let's count 1 more day or 2 more days to ensure that every vote counted, he stopped the count. Yeah, and he did it on purpose. And so I wound up losing by 139 votes, while I'm looking at 400 votes not counted on the page that would have given me that election, because in the east side of Buffalo, I was winning 4-1.
Wow.
I ran for the Senate twice. 2012, I won the city of Buffalo when they stole the election. And then in 2014, I still won the city of Buffalo. So while I ran for the Senate twice and lost both race officially, I never lost the city of Buffalo, and that includes the whole city of Buffalo.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So a very impressive career.
And then the mayor's race, I ran for that in 2017 against the mayor who said that the East Side had its fair share. And when our former mayor said that, it really incensed me. It really made me saying, well, how can he say that? And so when I asked him, what you mean East Side has had its fair share? Well, you got abandoned houses, abandoned people, homelessness, you got dilapidated apartments, you got everything, but we got our fair share. And we had a high problem with homelessness and not getting job opportunities, no community centers for the kids. And so I said, well, how can you say the East Side has its fair share? And he said, well, we got the medical center. I said, it's on the east side of Main Street. It is considered an east side property, but a medical center does not improve the economic condition of people on the east side of Buffalo. And so it made me so upset that I said I'm getting into the race, and I ran for mayor for that race. Of course, that at that time, because I ran for mayor in a year there was not an electable year. It was elective year for the legislature. I had a choice: run for mayor or run for my seat. And because needs of the community was so apparent, and I felt I could make such a difference, I did. I ran. I gave the seat up to run for mayor.
Well, if you remember when you ran for mayor, I was on Mark Schroeder's team, and I jumped on your team.
Oh yeah, yes
If
you
you
did. I
remember,
remember that.
I
I
abandoned
did.
shipment. Mark, I'm sorry again, but
Yeah, I did.
I was very excited when you decided to run, and I was behind you, and I felt like you could make a change.
Right,
So,
and I think that Mark, had he been elected, would have been a better mayor.
oh
than the
yes,
one we got or
absolutely,
had.
absolutely, absolutely. I did like Mark Schroeder. I thought he would have
Yes.
been, but I was very disappointed when he winded up going to Albany and leaving. You know, that was
Yeah,
very, very, very.
it was traumatic for me because I didn't see that coming. I didn't know he had been good as the city controller.
Yes, very good
And
at
he did an excellent
controller.
job. He was working with the community people like Mrs. Elizabeth Triggs and others. So when he ran to Albany, not ran, but when he got the job at Albany, I felt that his best talent could have been here, helping us to revive Buffalo.
Sure, I believe that. But I mean, it is what it is, and we are where we are now. So now we got this flyer here, and it says restore homes, restore health, restore hope, restore Humboldt Parkway, restore Buffalo, and ultimately restore Betty Jean Grant as the second district legislator.
Yeah, I put restore.
Restore. Talk about it.
I put restore because that's hope. That said, something has happened and needs to happen again. Restore is always, in my opinion, a positive outcome. And so as you look at the Humboldt Parkway and you see concrete where these beautiful trees, if people can see that, these beautiful trees, and this the Humboldt Parkway before 1965.
Is it that?
That is actually the Humboldt Parkway.
Really?
The way it used to look. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's Erie.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
That's in the middle. That's where the expressway
That
is.
is
What-
expressway. All that is expressway.
Oh.
And that used to
oh
be.
my goodness.
That used to be the most grandest.
Oh, my goodness.
Humboldt Parkway was the most grandest parkways of all of them. And so when I saw that restore, I said, well, what better word to use than restore a hope to the people, restore opportunity, restore people getting a chance to be part of government.
It's absolutely just gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
That is
and it
beautiful.
can't be like that. I won't see it. You won't see it, but your grandkids will see it, and your great grandkids can see it.
Oh, you mean?
If
Oh,
we
you
start
mean
now.
if they start now,
If they start now, yes.
our grandkids and our great grandkids will
Yes,
see that.
they will be able to see that. And then for generations to come. And just think about Bidwell Parkway. Just go down Bidwell Parkway, look at those majestic
Yeah.
trees.
Yes.
Humboldt Parkway was much more beautiful than Bidwell Parkway.
Really?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Wow. And they took all that away from us.
They did, and that's one of the
So-
reasons why I decided to run, because at that time we had people who saying that we need a tunnel. The people who saying they were the politicians, they were not the people who
The residents. Huh?
who were the residents. And so what we did was did surveys, and they said, Miss Grant, you got to help us. We are sick, and one of the duties of a county legislator is the health and wellness of the community. You know, we're not charged with infrastructure. That's city, that's the mayor, and that's the county council. When there's a stop sign or a speed bump, something like that, a pothole, those are city issues between the administration was supposed to fix it, and the mayor, and the county council was supposed to allocate the funds to get those fixed. The county legislator is health and wellness. So if you got a problem with
The county legislator is health
and wellness of the
of the people.
community.
Okay.
So if you have a problem with maybe going to ECMC, which is county hospital, you can talk to me as a county legislator. I can be able to help you that way. Or you have a problem with TANF, a problem with SNAP, a problem with WIC, problem with any social program.
Really?
Yeah, you can come. And also,
So if a person has a problem with their SNAP or whatever and they can't get no help, they can call the county legislator to get help?
yeah, that's my job, to help them with their health and wellness. Isn't that part of the health and well-being of that individual?
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And also a crime. We can help with Erie County Holding Center. That's why it's so important that the Erie County Special Advisory Board that the current legislator put in place has to reflect the will of the people. When you come into an office, as she did, in 2 weeks you disband the Erie County Advisory Board and you put in people who are more beholden to the sheriff, who is a Republican, who is set under all those deaths, and him and the other one, the previous one.
I'm sorry, Betty Jean. You're gonna have to. We got to go backward a little bit.
Okay.
What happened again?
What happened was there's an Erie County Advisory Committee,
Right.
and they're charged with making sure that the rights of the inmates
Okay.
are not
Violated.
violated. When you're in a holding center, you have not been charged anything. You are innocent until you go to court
Okay.
and get charged, convicted, whatever. So you have innocent people in the holding center as well as those who should be there. So it is a duty of the county to ensure that they're not mistreated, that they're not, they don't die, by they're not killed.
So what do? You go into the prisons and
No, you don't. What you do is you get a committee that's made of representatives from the legislators, from the sheriff, from a group like Open Buffalo, and a group that deal with halfway houses. Those do deal with people who are incarcerated. And you put them on the board, and they will sit and decide whether that right of that prison has been violated.
Oh.
And so when you get that board, you have to be sure that it comes from the community, that they have independence. If you're working for the sheriff and you're on a board for prison right,
So
That's
okay.
their sort of a
So
conflict.
you're saying that the current county legislator disbanded this group?
She disbanded Booth her second week into that office. She disbanded it, and she selected people that she didn't know because she just got into the office, but people who were recommended to her by persons unknown.
So I think that's very important for people to know that
Right.
2 weeks after she got in office, she disbanded this oversight board.
The
Basically.
oversight
Is that
board that was put in place by April Baskin.
that was put in place by April Bass.
Yes.
She disbanded it
Yes,
and
she
then
did.
appointed
New people.
new people who she had to be advised about because she just came in office. She
2
couldn't
weeks.
know.
2 weeks after
So
getting into
that's
office.
very interesting.
It might have been 3 weeks. So I want to give her credit for that. It might have been 3 weeks.
So
certainly
now
less than a month.
Okay, so these new people, are those the ones that look over?
Yes, they're the one to oversee the conditions, a reporter on what they find. If there's been any kind of incident, they will go over that and determine whether it has merit to be people should be held accountable.
Now the election is in November, right?
Right.
Okay, so what happens in November? What is November 4th?
November 4th.
So what happens on November 5th when if you become nominated as the winner of this race?
Okay.
How does that work?
If I am declared a winner, of course, they got recounted this close. What it happened is I wouldn't serve until January 1st.
Okay.
I'm elected, so the current legislator would be in that seat until December 31st, 2025.
Now,
And I'll go into the seat January 1st.
now you're saying that the Erie County Legislature is health and wellness. Is that why you're at every event, at everything I see? Every time I look up,
Yes.
everything I've been to this summer, you've been there,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
You've been there. Where do you get the energy from, Betty Jean? Where do you get all that energy from? Where's
Well-
your drive? What's the reason for all this?
Now you drink watermelon juice, but I drink a lot of fruit and vegetables, including watermelon when it's in season.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, so it mainly by diet and dedication. It's about compassion and concern. And I've always had that feeling for the people, even those events that I'm not directly involved in the second legislative district, not directly involved. I'm there because I feel that the whole of the people is my concern. The whole the east side and the whole city of Buffalo and whole Erie County. So that's going from residential to community to city to county. And that's what my duty and my responsibility is. That's why I ensure that people get the knowledge. I was the first legislator to have HEAP office and outreach.
Oh, I know what I would talk to you about. Okay.
Yeah, and also I was the legislator who helped to get the one-stop center on Main Street for veterans, where they can go
Really?
there and they can apply for their service, their food stamps, their benefits, and one stop. It's still going.
Yeah, now it's on Niagara Street. I go there. I love
okay,
it.
great. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, when I was chair of the legislature, I was the creator of that for our veterans.
So now listen, okay, Erie County Legislator, this got to be up your alley. So let's talk about Section 8.
Yes.
Is that an Erie County Legislator's issue? Can that be an issue if people need help with that information?
Section 8 is a federal program. You have more, if you have problems, you have more of a solution if you go to your federal representatives, such as Tim Kennedy.
Okay.
And he's locally served the district where I am. So any federal congressperson, you can go to them. Or you can go to Chuck Schumer, who's a senator, or Kristen Gillibrand, who's the other senator.
Well,
But also, you go to other housing programs. You've got a problem with Section 8. I'm sure the advocacy program, said NAACP and other organizations will be able to help you.
well, that's good you brought maybe NAACP because this is the issue, and this is the issue that a lot of people have been telling me about it. A lot of people have been out here have been losing their Section 8.
Right.
Okay, they've been losing their Section 8 because they can't find a viable house to move into. They're either it's a slumlord, or in the case of pets, they don't take pets, or they just, a lot of places now, a lot of these landlords, because of having to upgrade their properties, they don't
Right.
want to, so they don't even take Section 8. They're refusing it. So
Right.
now what's happening is a lot of people are losing their Section 8. The reason I know this is because my daughter just lost her Section 8 because for the last 3 months, she's been out of her home and trying to rent a place and not being able to find a place, going to place after place after place, and all these places being garbage, right? Not being livable or wanting too much money. So,
Right.
so my thing is, how is it that Section 8 can literally, when these people can show they've been trying to find places they couldn't, how do they be able to cut them off in like 90 days and you're done, you can't get no more Section 8 and you're not able to find a place?
Right, that's it, because under the new Trump administration, there is a movement to abolish Section 8. And I think there's going to be a limitation on how long you can be on it. That hasn't happened yet. That law has not been affected yet. But what you can do is you can lobby Senator Kennedy to ask Congress to do a moratorium on people, especially in distressed area, that where there's a housing crisis, and Buffalo is a housing crisis. He can have a moratorium to declare Section 8 to be not to be taken from people in this distressed area for
Really?
a certain period of time. Yeah, he can do it, but it's going to take the will of Congress to do that. But he can make that law, and it might pass, because New York City is another place where they have a problem with Section 8.
So Tim Kennedy is the one to go to now to
Yes,
talk about the
absolutely.
situation of so many people losing their Section 8 because they can't find a home. Because even when you find a place, the landlords won't let you in. They're not accepting
Right.
Section 8, or they're not willing to do the work to maintain the property.
Right.
And to my understanding, Betty Jean, a lot of them are telling you right now they don't want Section 8. They don't want, either you're going to move into my place, you're going to do what I say, or else.
Right, I think they don't want Section 8 because on guidelines Section 8, your house or your apartment has to be on
Right,
code.
up to code, right.
Up to code, and sometimes, the landlords don't want it up to code, or they don't have the money, or they just refuse to get it up to code.
So now you're telling me clearly that what people need to do is, if you're having this issue, sorry about that. So if you're having this issue, everybody out there, if you're having this issue, they need to contact Tim Kennedy's office.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yes, and the more people that contact his office, he would be more inclined to take them before Congress. And like I said, he can propose a moratorium on Section 8.
And so if enough people show up, he probably would do that.
I'll say he would. Because
Okay, so again, guys, so everybody out there that's having these problems with Section 8, you're out of your apartment, you're looking for an apartment, you can't find it, your Section 8 time, your extensions are about to run out. Senator Tim Kennedy is
the person that he
Senator
needs to
Kim
go to.
is the person we need to
Yes,
go to,
Senator
right?
Tim Kennedy.
So I mean that's very important, guys, that we start reaching out. If you got this problem, call his office, let him know what's going on, and let him know that you need a response. Would they please respond to you? A lot of the times you get a phone, you get an answer, or you
Right.
get a message, ask to get a response.
Right, easy to find. You could just go to Google and Google U.S. Congressperson Tim Kennedy.
You hear that? Easy to find. Go to Google.
Yes,
Google U.S. Congressman.
Tim Kennedy.
Matter of fact, we're saying senator. He's
Kennedy.
congressman now. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I keep saying senator. That he's congressman now.
Yes.
Congressman Kennedy. Right. Okay. So now that's very important. This is what we need to go to, Congressman Kennedy, not Senator Kennedy.
Absolutely.
Right. And he's got an office located on Exchange.
It used to be Exchange. I'm sure he's still there. I haven't contacted him lately, but last time I looked, he was there because he took the position that Brian Higgins had.
Right.
Yes.
Right. He succeeded Brian Higgins.
Right.
Okay. So now again, what else can a Erie County legislator offer to the people of the city of Buffalo right now in this present time?
Well, with his job opportunities, also the homelessness is a big problem, and that's one thing I want to work on because I can't help with homelessness. Erie County, there's many homelessness alliances and organizations here, but they're not working together. I'd like to see a cooperation between Buffalo, which has a huge amount of homelessness, and Erie County, so they can combine their resources and just have one. There used to be the House Alliance with I forgot a guy. He was a former council member. He was very effective in making sure that their needs were met. And it's a shame to know that children are sleeping in cars, sleeping on their relatives' floors, and get them going to school the next morning without having a proper bed. Everybody in Erie County, everybody in Buffalo, they don't have a bed to sleep in. And it's really a shame that in this city that has so much resources, that the homelessness seem to be left behind. So that's one thing I want to do is to coordinate the homelessness programs and have in Erie County, see what we have, what's affected, and how can we help to change that.
Now, as an Erie
And
County
also, I want
legislator,
to say too, with homelessness, there's a lot of BMHA property that's vacant. There's a lot of vacant apartments.
Right.
That's not. Some of them has as high vacancy rate as 35%, but because it's was built in another decade or time, there's centralized heat, so that apartment is heated whether somebody's in that apartment or not. My point
Wow.
is, and I said
Wow.
years
Wow.
ago, why not open those apartments? Open those apartments so that people can live there up to 90 days. They establish residency, because in order to get food stamps and some of the programs, you have to be a city resident with an address.
well, it's amazing that you say that, because I was just at BMHA at a meeting last Thursday, right?
Right.
And one of a lady called in to me and asked me that I would ask them this question: why is it she's been waiting for a year
Yes.
to get her apartment in Langfield? Well, she rode around and showed me a video
Right.
where she rode around and there was at least 50 empty apartments in
Absolutely.
Langfield, Kenfield right now.
Yes.
And she said that they've been sitting for a year because she's been waiting on the list for a year. And she's been riding through there and seeing all these empty apartments more
Right.
and more, and they're not doing anything. And so when I went to the meeting, I asked them about this, but I also asked them this: why aren't you letting the residents maintain those properties? Why aren't you
Right.
letting the residents work on those properties and fix them up? Wasn't that what the BMHA was all supposed to be
absolutely.
meant for in the first place? What's
Right.
going on?
And that was happening, under Sharon West when she was the executive director of BMHA, or commissioner of BMHA. She had people like Renato Graham. That's how he got his start in being a business person. There had people there. People who live in BMHA property had daycare centers. They was
Right.
open daycare
In the
center.
projects.
Yeah, in their homes or maybe the apartment next door. And so they don't do that anymore. They don't promote having residents starting their own businesses, and I think that's terrible.
Well, not only is it terrible, that was the whole premise of creating the projects, okay?
Right.
It was supposed to be a stepping stone.
Absolutely.
You go there, you stay there for a while, you get yourself together, you learn some skills,
Right.
and and then you move on. And as a matter of fact, the BMHA, each one of them, they have so much money,
Yes.
discretionary money that's allowed to educate the people. You know what I mean? To enhance their
Right.
their abilities, and they're not using that money. When they don't use that money, it winds up going back into the general fund.
Absolutely.
Why? Why?
Well, why do we give back? How many $1 million we gave back to the government, federal
yeah.
government, from the city of Buffalo?
For not using that money?
For not using the
yeah,
money?
Yeah. I know Masson District Councilman Wingo had to give back quite a bit.
And last year, I think it gave back $3 million because they didn't use it. And I can't see. And I think the lead program. There was a program.
Yeah.
The money was much needed, but they allowed to go back because they didn't put the bids out in time for people to bid on
Well,
it.
not only did they not put the bids out, what happened was they decided that they just wanted to use certain plumbers that they was working with to do all the contracts. As a matter of fact, Victor Nelson his business wind up getting closed down behind that because
it's closed down?
Well, yeah, because he actually my job, my house caused it because he did the first part of my house. Then I found out I needed the lead pipe all the way through. So I went to the city. He told me about the program. I went to the city, and the city said, "Well, since you let Victor Nelson start it, we ain't gonna do it for you." So I raised a bunch of of sand. The councilman Wingo, he wound up getting them to do it, but they wanted me to go after Victor Nelson like he did something wrong. I wouldn't do it, right? So it was called the roll program. So Victor Nelson was steady complaining about that money and them only using their contractors and not getting enough done and that money going back. And that's exactly what happened. Well, they winded up closing down his business, shutting him down, from what I understand. And it was basically behind him trying to bring attention to the fact that they had all this money from the government for lead, but they was only letting certain contractors do the work
Yeah, their favorite contractor, either by
and losing the money.
give them a campaign donation or their relatives or friends. Yeah, that's the Friends and Pal program. That's been in effect.
All this time.
Yes, all this
So
time.
so Betty Jean, it's very unfortunate. Now, and I'm gonna throw this in, and I just got to say it, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
Okay.
Betty Jean, I am crushed about the state of Buffalo in the last 20 years after we elected a black mayor. Everybody was so happy, African American mayor. It was our wildest dreams come true. We were so happy with this African American
Yes.
mayor. But now 20 years later, Jefferson looks even worse than the first day he took office.
Yes, it
You know,
does.
it's desolate. It's a ghost town, and I'm just and so I want people to understand that no longer can we vote for people just because they brown like us.
Absolutely,
We have to look at the content of their character, their merits, and we have to look at their job history and stop just electing people because, well, he black, so that's why I'm gonna elect. Or she
Right,
black.
right.
Or,
I voted for Mayor Brown the first year. Second year, I couldn't because things that I thought he could have done the first year he didn't do. People kept saying give him an extra year because they need, like the president, they need first term to pay back all the all the appreciation and pay back the people who help you get elected. And then the second year, then when they really started doing community issues, I never saw him doing community issues. I never saw. And my whole test is you got Jefferson Avenue. That's supposed to be the heart of the east side of Buffalo, the heart of the black community. And we had the devastation of 514. And those streets were embarrassment. In 2023, we had 514. They had potholes, curb being missed. I was ashamed that people coming from out of town looking at how bad our street was on a street that served the main supermarket for the east side of Buffalo. And I said, certainly, by the end of this year, 2023, or the first next year, we're going to get that street paved.
well, Betty Jean, it's 2025.
And the street has not been paved.
It's 2025.
And the mayor lives, I'm going to say it, and the mayor lives about half a block from Jefferson Avenue.
Yeah.
And he has to travel down Jefferson if he goes downtown.
Go anywhere.
Or anywhere, he has to travel down. And I just I just can't imagine when people are saying pave the street. Even now, I'm saying now, why can't you pave it? There's Friday Night Live. We're there every Friday, everybody dancing. There's people still shopping there, and there's many programs trying to get started. There's the Beverly Grace Center. There's Meriwether Library.
Betty Jean Grant.
That is the most, if you said 40 years ago, what's the heart of the black community? You have to say Broadway, Michigan area, 40 years ago.
But now,
that's what most blacks were. If you say now, where's the heart and soul of the east side of Buffalo? It got to be Jefferson Avenue.
It's got to be Jefferson Avenue. It's got to be Jefferson Avenue.
Yeah.
And so again, folks, and not to harp on anything, but you guys got to understand, 20 years ago, it was really an African American community. 20 years later, it is a Bangladesh community. More than 50%, it seems like. And so we have to look at it, and we have to think about what fault do we have in this as far as residents.
Well, I'm going to say this. When I ran for mayor, gentrification was because I knew then that Baltimore and Washington, D.C. and other urban city was being gentrified. Gentrification is good if you come in and you open businesses and you work along with the African American and open and help to support their business. They support yours by buying from your stores. You reciprocated by shopping from theirs.
Sure.
And you live next door to each other. When you are forcing people out, when you are forcing and displacing people, that's not the best kind of gentrification that we need. But now we have a situation where east side of Buffalo, you can't say it really is African American dominated.
No.
You can't say it for the business. And I had written an article, Nate, 2 years ago. An article say a people that does not own its economic status doesn't own the community.
Yeah, does not community have no future.
So the residential, it's good to have. Have you noticed one thing? Let me just say, there's many apartment buildings being built, big block apartment. We got the Forge on Broadway. We got the one on Hurdle. That houses 200 and 300 individuals. What's the ethnic makeup of those people in those houses?
African American.
Absolutely. Some of them have been displaced by having houses in the neighborhood. So when you see neighborhood houses being sold into the ragged house, you can see, you say, well, why did that person of another culture buy that house?
Excuse me, go ahead, Betty
Okay,
G. I just got to step up for 1 second. Excuse me for stepping out.
but he's not looking at the house. He's looking at the land. The most valuable thing in that whole initiative is the land the house is on. So when you see people come saying, "We'll buy your house," and you see signs that say, "We buy houses," they're looking at future generations. They're looking at their children and grandchildren on those homes that has the land. There is no replacement. There'll be no more replacement land. Buffalo will not get more land now than it has right now. It wouldn't get any more.
That's
okay?
right.
So the most valuable thing that's increased is the land. I got property down south, land. I didn't build anything on it. That the value was worth, I think $500 when I bought it. $500 the appraisal value. Now it's appraised at $25,000.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, I haven't put a thing there, but the
Haven't
land
done anything.
appreciated because there's a need for land, and that's what's we got to worry about now. That if you want generational wealth for our children, it's good to have life insurance so you can be able to, they can bury you when you die.
Sure.
There's a lot of people, a little plug for that because we don't have that. But it is great to be able to inherit a house.
Oh yeah.
That you can give to your son.
Generational
He
wealth.
get his son. So we're not doing that. We're selling.
Well.
And with people giving you 3 times what the house is worth, but just think about this: 20 years from now, that money's going to be gone for 3 times what it's worth,
Yep.
and you won't have the house.
And you won't have the house.
And your children won't have the house.
Yeah.
And they be living in those big box apartment complex that people stack on top of each other.
Well, they're putting so many of us in them. That's what they want to put us in
Oh,
those
absolutely.
boxes. But listen, guys,
And it's like prison. This is like a prison to you?
it is. We got about a couple minutes left, Betty Jean. We got a
Yes.
couple minutes left because these lights are wearing me out.
Yes.
All right, these lights are wearing me out. Thank you. These lights are wearing me out. Excuse me. Oh God, it's in the studio, guys. You got so much going on, so you guys
Right.
got to excuse me. But wow. So Betty Jean. So again now. So what do you think that? What do you believe? There we are. What do you believe are your chances of winning this race?
You know what?
Honestly, what do you think?
If a politician tell you that he don't think he's going to win, he shouldn't be
He
running
ain't
in the
gonna
first
win.
place. He shouldn't be running in the first place. Okay.
I like that.
So I think my chance is excellent. I have a history. The only challenge I would see that I'm on the Restore Buffalo line. I'm not on a Democratic line, but you can see it with the ballot. You can see it. So I think my
Thank
chance
you.
is excellent. And by the feedback of whether I'm on Elmwood Village, which is part of the district, or on the east side of Buffalo and Bailey and Delavan, people tell me, I know what you did. I trust you. I believe you. You never lied to us. You deliver. So I think my chance is excellent.
Well, I think your chances are too, because again, I got to tell everybody now, everywhere I go, when I go to events, I go to different movements, the stuff that's been happening in the streets, Mandela's, wherever, everywhere I go, the number one concerned citizen I see there almost before I get there is Betty Jean Grant. So you're very concerned.
Right,
You're
right.
always on the spot. And I just think that that's very important, especially when
Go ahead and say it.
I don't see your opponent out here. I don't see your opponent out here, and usually I wouldn't even mention it, but I just think it's very important that
Right.
people to know, because you running for Erie County's legislator. So is your opponent running
Right.
for legislator,
But-
right?
but-
And the
right.
thing is,
But let me
I'm
tell you
supposed to
this.
be out here with the people.
Yeah, but see, I always been with the people. I was marching with Charlie Fisher when he, with that sanitation truck, when he stood in front of the truck about the garbage. That was in 1999, I think it was. I was with Charlie Fisher when we went to Solar City in South Buffalo. We did a protest because they weren't hiring African American workers. I was with Charlie Fisher and others when we circled the C District Police Station in a march because they weren't hiring black contractors. So I've always been out there. I've been in the office now for 8 years, and people still saying, "Oh, Legislator Grant, where's your district office is?"
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up. People, listen. You see what she said when she was with Charlie Fisher, how they would go down and they would shut down different
Yes,
spots,
yes.
right? Well, this now I got to bring up Mandela's,
Right.
Because Mandela's, the reason I went there, because I thought it was a chance for the community to come together, for us
Right.
African Americans to come together, and we did, and it was solidarity, right?
Yes.
Well, just like we went there, I need to explain to people. Just like we came there and we gathered and we shut that place down, we can gather together and we can shut down every construction site in the city of Buffalo if we wanted to. Okay, we could go there, we could gather, we could shut those sites down. But the thing is, I want people to understand is that if we was to go to these sites and shut them down for jobs, we would need the people there to take those jobs, because
Right.
they would have to concede to our demands and give us some jobs. But then when we have the people there that's going to work the jobs, that's going to stay there and going to make us look proud, or give them a reason to say that's why we didn't give them the
Can I
first
say
place.
something about
Please
Mandela?
do.
I was in Mandela, and I was very, very elated, and I was enthusiastic, and I felt like I was 20 again when I was marching with King in Memphis, Tennessee, before he assassinated.
Wow.
We were marching in my hometown.
Did you?
Yes. I commended people for coming together, saying enough is enough, because some of the issues that he talked about has been boiling in the community for years. But what I'd like to see, and I think would have been more effective and more helpful, if we had just had maybe a meeting prior, if possible, to get one designated leader to speak. Because you have 5 different leaders and they saying 5 different things.
Sure.
And what 5 different, you're confusing and you're
Sure.
kind of not have the will of the people. That Mandela market, that still has not been resolved.
Right.
And we had to recognize too that Mandela markets and the other Arab stores. I have stores. I can talk about deli stores. I still have mine. I had it for 40 years, 45 years to be exact. If we get stores, we as African Americans, we have to identify a distribution center that's going to stock those stores in. Because if we don't, we can have a store, we can have merchandise now. When the merchandise gets sold, where are we going to go? We can't go to Trippy Food, which I went for the last 40 years because they're almost out of business because the Arabs have, the Arab American Association of the group have their own distribution from Dearborn, Michigan, coming in trucks, or from New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, they bring stuff to their stores in Buffalo. We don't have the connection. Are there any African American distribution center outside of Buffalo that was fun or stock out stores? I don't know. So before we run out there and get and put 5, 10 deli stores in, we got to see how they're going to be stocked.
That's interesting.
Yeah, how they're going to be stocked because we don't, because when they're empty, where are we going to get the refill from?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got to be very careful of that. We maybe should work with the stores that's here. They cannot undo what's happened in the past, but going forward, we should have a plan. We should have a plan that includes us, regardless of whether they stay, they sell, or they go. But we had to recognize too that most of them are citizens; they are not immigrants.
Right.
And they have a right to be here.
Sure they do.
They had a right to operate the stores. And so we had to ask, well, we shopping at Mandela's, but we didn't know that it was not owned by an African. And I think that's probably where the mix-up was, that maybe the community who wanted to support that African and his business maybe should have been told that I don't have the business anymore. Because that's some of the contention is that we only shop here because we want to support our own.
Well, he did tell me that that he tried to find different people to buy it, and then certain other people did also confirm that he did reach out to certain people. He even said specifically to me that he reached out to Pastor Prison. He said he reached out to 2 or 3 more major church pastors in the area. So and they all said no. So he said he was trying. I don't have a reason to disbelieve him when he would name names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to take him at his word.
When you name, you have to have some truth behind it, and that's why I joined to yes,
names, right?
absolutely.
So I gotta believe him. So anyway, listen. So we definitely got some issues. We have about 5 or 6 weeks before the election.
About 4 weeks,
Oh,
all of October, the rest of September, and 4 days in November. About 5 weeks.
About 5 weeks.
Yeah, no more than 5 weeks.
So I think that I would certainly like to have you back within that time, okay?
Right.
And you'd like to talk to the people. I'd like them just to be able to interact with you. And perhaps when you come back on, we'll have some questions from
Absolutely.
the audience, from the people that you can answer, okay?
Absolutely. And you know what? I think too that what I'd like to is to get I'm glad that Eberhard has the educational program for the Buffalo County Council. I'd like the county to kind of work with her, collaborate with her to ensure that there's money that's being resourced to the Buffalo Board of Education for the education of children. Because if they're not educated and they're not into viable programs after school, then that whole generation we have is not going to be as effective
lost.
as it should be. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so I like to work to education, of course, restoring the trees on Humboldt Parkway. That's number one. I want to thank the judge and the governor. The governor has changed her mind. We have won a victory.
Oh, yeah?
We went against the decision of the governor, and she backed up. We didn't back up. We won.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
absolutely.
Amen.
She is now saying that she's going to weigh all options,
Wow.
including the restoration of Humboldt Parkway.
Wow. Now you know how awesome that is, folks? I'm so glad to hear that, because persistence pays
Absolutely.
off. Persistence,
dedication,
consistency, dedication, sure.
and commitment. And that's
Yeah.
you know what, because for 2 years, we met every week for a year and a half, and then for the last half year, 6 months, we meet every other week at Delavan Grider or St. Philip Church. It could be rain, snow, blizzard. We met.
When's your next meeting?
The next meeting is this Thursday at Delavan Grider. Today.
Oh,
At
today.
Today at Delavan
Jeez.
Grider. But there's also I want to
I'm
say
making it to the next meeting.
yeah. If this goes on before tonight, I'm not sure it is, but there's a mayoral debate
No, this
tonight.
gonna be on tomorrow. There is a
Okay.
mayor's no. So
Okay,
this
so
this
we
will
want
be
to
on
talk about
tomorrow.
that. And
Right.
yeah, y'all, if you see it now, then you know the debate has already happened.
Yeah, it already happened. So yeah. So, but I'm definitely gonna be there, and I know
Right.
you are too.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much again
Oh,
for
you're
coming
welcome.
on.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to having you on again. So people, this has been Face to Face with Nate Boyd, and we look forward to having you guys tune in again
Yeah.
next
Check
time.
a plug to say that if
Sure.
you are,
Sure.
we got two paper, and this is a Challenger. It's got a picture of the Mandela crisis in our community. Please read the Challenger, read the Buffalo Criteria. This is free. You come to my store, Grass to Ride, you get the Criterion free, and you can find out what's happening in our community. Because if you're informed and you're educated about the issues, you can have a great power and a great force behind you.
Sure.
And sometimes we don't know the correct information, so that it's known as misinformation. So I was saying that get informed, get educated, and get organized.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Blessings. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Face to Face with Nate Boyd. Community talk. Every week at 1 o'clock p.m. at Nathan L. Boyd Official.